Blackstone Publishing presents Who's Afraid of Opera? A highly opinionated, informative, and entertaining guide to appreciating opera by Michael Walsh. This book is read by Michael Walsh. For Claire Veronica Walsh, a natural performer. Introduction, or Why Opera? Thanks to you, this book is a sequel. In 1988, in response to an almost weekly barrage of queries about how to get into classical music from friends, acquaintances, and readers of my musical criticism in Time magazine, I wrote, Who's Afraid of Classical Music? I wanted to call it Who's Afraid of Hugo Wolf, but the reference was felt to be too obscure. At that time, there were a number of perfectly adequate introductions to concert music on the market, but each of them seemed to me to be aimed at the reader who was already interested in, and to a certain extent familiar with, the norms of classical music, the etiquette, lore, and terminology those of us in the business take for granted, but which may strike outsiders as mysterious, pretentious, arrogant, and daunting, not necessarily in that order. So the thought occurred to me, why not write a book that presupposed absolutely no knowledge of music on the part of the reader? For the sake of my sanity, I had to assume that anyone picking up the book would at least be vaguely curious about classical music, but otherwise I posited zero knowledge of the field. My hypothetical reader came armed with his or her intellectual curiosity. Call me old-fashioned, but I believe such things still exist in Beavis and Butthead America, if only in isolated pockets of resistance, and a willingness to indulge my frequent non-musical images and a deliberately breezy tone that was nearly guaranteed to alienate my fellow professionals. Write the book I did, and I haven't regretted it for a minute. I treasure all the letters from those readers who found it helpful, valuable, and even amusing, and I am pleased that a number of American orchestras are using it as a painless introduction to the mysteries of the classical organism for their younger and newer subscribers. The book even caught the eye of the producers of NBC's Today Show, on which I appeared bright and early one morning to sit, somewhat ridiculously, at a white grand piano and demonstrate to Deborah Norville the melodic similarities between Andrew Lloyd Webber's I Don't Know How to Love Him from Jesus Christ Superstar, and the lyrical second theme from the Funeral March movement of Chopin's Second Piano Sonata. And you bought the book, enough of you anyway, to have kept it in print since publication, and for it to...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?